The ALTA II, Episode 1, Planning. Welcome to the Alta-California Railway. This is the first video in a long-running series where I build a beautiful 8x15-foot HO-scale model railroad to cutting-edge standards. Highly detailed rolling stock, scratch-built structures, and realistically modeled late 60s passenger operations will be the cornerstone of my approach to this layout. The Alta is my own concept, modeling a prototype freelanced railroad that connects Oakland, California with Mexico on a carefully planned north-south route. I'm modeling it as it appeared in 1968, the last year of mainline steam in Mexico. Since the layout spans the border, there's plenty of foreign power and rolling stock present on the layout. Choosing to demolish versus retrofit. It's a tough moment when you realize a project won't turn out the way you'd hoped. The limitations of my own prior skill level were holding me back, especially in contrast to what I'm capable of today, so it was time to start anew. I came to that realization with the ever-changing Alta Mark I. It's a layout that lasted in a variety of forms for over a decade. You can watch a video about that in the description below. I've been remodeling my workshop from a bohemian live/work artist loft into a model-making workshop. I've been steadily chipping away at this for the last few months. The catalyst for the choice to demolish it came when the track I'd hastily laid in 2015 began to misbehave. The repairs I'd done in 2021 were only delaying the inevitable. I did retrofit an entire module last year in an attempt to fix a lot of issues, but the gremlins persisted. It was time to begin anew. I made the hard decision to begin demolition right before going on a trip to see my parents, so I had time to plan out what I'd want to do next. I also wanted to reflect on what I'd learned with the Alta Mark I. Being thousands of miles away helped solidify the decision and self-interrogate about what I really wanted. I bounced all of this off a bunch of my friends as well, Alexander being the main design help. What worked with Mark I? The idea of the Alta as a railroad was definitely the largest success to come from it all. In the last few years, refining the history, route, equipment, consists, and even nerdily enough, timetables, has been an interesting art project. I plan to expand this into movie-grade historical artifact props of the Alta that go beyond the layout itself. Another thing that worked well was proving that a layout could be designed for filming. The quote-unquote photo curve was a strong success and allowed for an attractive scene to move virtually any equipment through realistically. The desire to push my modeling skills consistently was another success. Scratch-building structures was really the true thing that made the Alta Mark I stand out from a typical layout. It also grew my love for modeling 1/87 scale vehicles and posing them alongside custom rolling stock and scratch-built structures. That trifecta combines into a cohesive whole to give a sense of place, which I feel is a vastly underappreciated strength of model railroading as a narrative art form. I think more people should really pour their souls into their layouts to capture a time, space, and place worth visiting. What didn't work? Thinking I could get away with salvage materials and cheap lumber. That's a real one. It really is worth spending the time to do benchwork well. Since my building is built on fill and is settled into the bay mud for over a century, the room is not level or perpendicular at all. The Alta Mark I did not compensate for this like Mark II does, so it made for a really weird rolling stock handling characteristic. Lots of couplers separating and unexpected derailments. Future street running will be done using the Tillig tram track, sculptamold or styrene sheet between the rails. We are not making that mistake again. The quote-unquote plywood Pacific look of laying track right onto plywood without foam below grade was also another mistake. The Alta II will have a bunch of scenery below grade to show off a more realistic elevated right-of-way. What we never got to see. Well, the Oakland side has been deleted from the Alta II. It'll reprise its role in a year or two as a set of Fremo modules or a future museum display. I've carefully saved all the best structures from the Oakland side for that future. Because of the track issues, we never really got to enjoy passenger operations on the Mark I. On the new Alta, super elevated curves will vastly improve passenger operation. Because of the track retrofit I did a year ago, you never got to see me repave Manzanita Avenue, which means you haven't seen those neat 3D printed in-ground switch machines I designed. They're based off real examples in West Berkeley, and I was able to take measurements from them. Starting anew, and the power of hope and optimism. There are few better feelings in a hobby than a spirited beginning to a layout concept you love. In times that are in a macro-political sense unpredictable, unpleasant, and unbearable, a positive escape to a miniature world feels necessary today. Building a layout of any size brings with it a sense of hope. Like a garden in early spring, growth towards a more beautiful result you have a hand in shaping is rather cathartic. Optimism is hard to nurture these days, and having something hopeful like a lovely layout to work on gives me a sense of purpose and direction. Big picture, goals for the ALTA II. With the clarity of being away from the layout, I wanted to lean into what I really enjoy most about the Alta as a prototype freelance railroad concept. I still wanted to capture the look of the 60s Mexican miracle and the final years of steam mixed with modern-looking freight cars and new second-generation diesels. I want to do justice to the passenger models I'm working on by having an appropriately sized depot for Empalme. Another important goal now is that it's entirely set in Mexico to give it a strong sense of time and place. When you look at the layout as you enter the room, you realize you're not in California anymore, but a long time ago in a place far away. The final goal is for it not to just be a layout, but a hangout space for my friends. We're designing it with a proper bar rail to safely land drinks and phones. That way, people wanting to operate on the layout can, and others who just want to hang out can also be included in a fun way. Too few layouts forget about the people in and around them, and I feel and hope this inspires others to do the same. It's worth considering the human element. Givens and Druthers. One of the primary challenges with the ALTA II is that I really don't have any room for expansion. Lots of model railroads are rebuilt to gain more real estate. The ALTA II is primarily a refinement of a concept into a cohesive whole. The layout part of the room remains only roughly 8 by 15 feet. Another requirement is the curves have to be as wide as possible to film and test long passenger and freight equipment. So the main line will have a minimum of a 32-inch radius curve on the inside and 34 outside. This is an improvement on the inconsistent curves that were in the old plan. We're going to go a step further by super elevating the main line curves to further enhance the realism, which should look pretty spectacular. One thing I wanted to explore more of in the ALTA II was realistic engine servicing facilities with proper back shops. I was inspired by the real shops for the Ferrocarril del Pacifico at Empalme. Freight traffic is still incredibly important on the ALTA II, and I wanted a couple of industries to be able to switch realistically as well. A return to form with vastly improved photo curve was also an essential part of the plan. Can't have weekly run-by shorts without it. Main sites and features. Guaymas and Empalme are on the northwest coast of mainland Mexico, on the Sea of Cortez. It's a fishing port that sits on a bay. Guaymas is the historical old town, while Empalme is foremost a railroad town. Its name means junction in Spanish. Looking at the plan, there's 2 major scenes on the layout and 2 supporting scenes. The first major scene will be a 1960s modernist depot at Empalme, branded as Nuevo Guaymas for the tourists. It'll be completely scratch-built and feature a full interior and lighting. It will have 2 platforms bustling with life. Lots of locals and tourists waiting for their respective trains, street vendors, and porters. The final look of the depot is yet to be decided, but we're experimenting with a variety of designs based on Mexican modernist architects from the 60s as our inspiration. Across from the depot itself will be a commercial strip with requisite bars, hotels, restaurants, and tourism-related businesses. The commercial structures will be based on prototypes in Empalme and Guaymas, and will be of scratch-built flats. Up the road a bit, and served via the interurban line, is a cement plant. Supporting that scene will be a large flour mill or brewery looming over one end of the depot. It'll be a popular photography subject for people photographing the trains on the platform. As designed, it should have a large mural or animated neon billboard of some fashion to be eye-catching day and night. It'll also be a healthy source for consistent car loading and fun to switch. The next major scene will be a sizable back shops for the Alta-California Railway. The cornerstone of this scene will be a massive transfer table, which will allow me to pose equipment across 6 tracks inside and outside the buildings. The main structure will be a handsome, streamlined, modern-inspired back shop, which will have space for running repairs and heavy rebuilding in 2 separate spaces. Across from the diesel shops is the older steam shops, a lovely fieldstone building with a generous shaded outdoor pit for lubrication and small repairs. Adjacent to the Alta-California Railway's shops is the car barn, boiler house, and substation for the Ferrocarril Interurbano de Aurora. It is a plausible upgrade of the horsecar network that once trundled around Guaymas in real life. The boiler house provides steam to assist the Alta's back shops and electric power for the interurban line. The main line and the interurban follow different paths into the town of Esquina, which is situated between the estuary and the shops. A lovely church square is in the center of town with a commercial strip along the tram line leading back to the modernist depot we began our journey at. Between the depot and Esquina is an estuary where the local fishermen moor their boats. They are mostly large wooden dories, most of which have outboard motors attached. The interurban's right-of-way was the original Alta main line into Guaymas and features an operable span for the larger ships that once used to dock there. Since the causeway was built in the 1920s, the bridge is no longer operable for navigation, and the fishermen putter under the opening in the causeway to get out into the bay. Altogether, it will be an enjoyable place to spend time in railfan and miniature. The importance of iteration. Working from an already good concept helped a lot in this case. Iteration is the most important part of designing within constraints. In this case, my constraints were that the main line needed broader curves than Mark I, and that the layout had to not be any larger than it already was. From there, other features were tested. Early plans were directly inspired by the marvelous 00 scale Everard Junction. There was a second idea to make where the railroad shops are now into a desert canyon. The interurban grew from a regular railroad industrial lead to the fully formed system it is now. In earlier versions, it was just going to be a non-operable piece of scenery, but now it's fully functional and actually goes somewhere. This all came from asking myself what I truly wanted from a layout. Often deleting things helps focus a layout concept better than adding. That's why Oakland was removed for the ALTA II, so the entire vista is one cohesive-looking layout set in Mexico. Operational style. While I'm sure future videos will cover this in satisfying detail, I look forward to developing 4 major types of operational jobs for the layout. Passenger service, from a single doodle bug to the famed first-class Monarca, will add a lot of flavor. Secondarily, the substantial freight ops as both through trains and local switching operation with Alta locomotives will be a cornerstone of this layout. The interurban is its own little operation, featuring local passenger service from the back shops to the depot and beyond. One highlight will be freight movements over the interurban to serve the cement plant. A layout built for film. The photo curve proved the concept that a layout this size is just right for filming. It's fun to develop a new layout with a variety of angles and cameras to be positioned on each of the 4 major scenes as well, so variety will be a big part of the new layout. If you think of it this way, the layout is kind of its own railfan trip to Guaymas and Empalme back in 1968. Driving home the idea of reinforcing the sense of time and place is the main experiment with this layout. That should be enjoyable alongside deepening the lore of the Alta-California Railway. Together, visiting the layout should feel like taking a day off to railfan in Mexico back in the 60s. Now to perfect my fish taco recipe. In the next video, we'll build benchwork, slam down the foam, and lay roadbed and track. This has been Interurban Era, and thank you.